Alpha Beta is allegedly owned by BOLA Tinubu, and the company is the recurring decimal of corruption in Lagos. In the last 2 years, 36 billion naira has been paid out to Tinubu via Alpha Beta Consulting alone. 36 billion naira is a colossal amount of money to pay an individual firm over a 2-year period. A look at taxation in Lagos, which is charged at multiple points, will suffice and help us appreciate the maze of corruption that is perpetrated in Lagos by Tinubu and his cronies. In addition to federal taxes, the state government collects shops and kiosk rates, an approved open market levy, tenement rates, licensing fee for sale of liquor, slaughter slab license fee in abattoirs under local government control, marriage, birth and death registration fees, street naming registration fee, motor park levy including motorcycles and tricycles, parking fee on local government streets or roads as may be approved by the state government, domestic animal license fee excluding poultry farmers, license fees for bicycles, trucks, canoes, wheelbarrows and carts other than mechanically propelled trucks, radio and television license fee excluding radio and television in motor vehicles, transmitters and other communication equipment, public convenience, sewage and refuse disposal fees, cemetery and burial ground permit fee for private entertainment and merriment in public places, excluding roads and streets, wharf landing fees, corporate business permit, commercial premises rate, corporate parking within company premises, vehicle radio permit or clearance, satellite and mast permit, vehicle environmental protection, outdoor environmental sanitation agency fees, mobile advert permit, computer use permit, interstate revenue, penalty for seatbelt default, computer license fee. It is better imagined how much sleaze that goes on behind the scene. Sensing a cover-up, a Lagos resident, Dr. Ademola Dominic, petitioned the Lagos state government directly on the 24th of October 2012, asking for a disclosure of public accounts as pertaining the tax consultancy fee the Lagos state government pays out monthly to a private company named Alpha Beta Consulting Limited, owned by Tinubu. Dr. Dominic, as a petitioner, invoked the Freedom of Information Act and demanded to know how the taxes, revenue, finances of the state accrue, are managed and disbursed in Lagos State, and to access and request to be made available to me by you all information, CTCs of files, records, contract agreements, documents in respect of the said contract agreement entered into between the government of Lagos State and the company Alpha Beta Consulting Limited, pursuant to Section 23, subsection 3M 05, 6, 7, 9 and 10 of the provisions of the Freedom of Information Act 2011 FOI. According to Dr. Dominic's petition for account, the government of Lagos State boasts of internally generated revenue of about 40 billion naira every month, translating into a commission of 6 billion naira being paid to Alpha Beta Consulting Limited also every month, which sum I consider unfavorable and outrageous to me as a taxpayer and citizen of Lagos State. In public eyes, the offending company Alpha Beta Consulting Limited is putatively owned by Alhaji Bola Tinubu, who handpicked Babatunde Fashola in 2007 as the Action Congress governorship candidate in Lagos by riding roughshod over the party's constitution's requirement for a sensible primary election. And the Lagos State government's response of November 5, 2012 to the petitioner merely reinforces the state's stance to treat Lagos finances as personal funds. It is also on records that Alpha Beta Company was blacklisted by the Abuja Environmental Protection Board, AEPB, for failing to render account of the fees it collects on behalf of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, in respect of solid and liquid waste bills from residents in the territory. The Tinubu's firm was contracted in 2009 by the FCT administration under the then Minister Alhaji Adamu Aliero to be responsible for waste management fees. The rest is history. As it is, Lagos's medium-term future is in doubt, not least because its future taxes cannot be raised from the millions of illiterate and unskilled youths who will rather likely press violently for free social services to further tie up the state's finances already hobbled by over $500 million debts. In Lagos, land and real estate is gold. Here, Tinubu is believed to have effectively fleeced Lagos, allocating land for himself and his cronies. This area has been the gold mine for years and still remains one. It needs to be recalled that in 2007, a group called the Lagos Progressive Movement fingered Tinubu in a huge land scam running into several billions of naira in Lagos State. In a public statement on the matter, the group had noted, "We, the Lagos Progressives Movement, once again wish to update fellow Nigerians on the various land scams perpetrated by former Governor BOLA Tinubu and being covered up by Governor Babatunde Fashola. The facts are true and verifiable. We have gone further to quote real names of collaborators and addresses of properties for readers to verify themselves. Tinubu is the #1 landlord in Lagos and has turned Lagos land worth trillions of naira into his personal possession to be used freely or given away unaccounted for. Even after he left office, Tinubu continues to illegally appropriate and allocate Lagos land under the watch of Fashola. Curiously, Tinubu still occasionally signs certificates of occupancy even as ex-governor and backdating them to the period he was in office. These brazen acts of corruption are alleged to have been perpetrated with the active collaboration of select few public officers who are obscenely wealthy at the expense of Lagos taxpayers. His accomplices in the fraud are Benga Ashafa, former Permanent Secretary, Lands Bureau since 2001, and serving Senator Mrs. Awofi Shayo, former Permanent Secretary and a relation of Bola Tinubu from Iragbiji, Osun State. Hakim Murio Kunola, former personal assistant PA to Tinubu and now Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Lands. Mrs. Nike Animashan and Tunji Ololafe, who was arrested by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and detained for 3 days and later released following the allegations of financial impropriety. Here is a catalogue of some of a few brazen acts of alleged corruption committed, leveled by numerous quarters against Tinubu and supposedly aided by Fashola. It is believed that Tinubu's greed and primitive acquisition tendency knows no bound. In fact, it is believed that Lagos land personally appropriated by him is worth over 500 billion naira, and this is growing because he hasn't stopped. This makes Tinubu Nigeria's single largest landlord. 1. 4 Oyinkan Abayomi Drive, Ikoyi, a 5-bedroom detached house on 1 acre of land, and originally the Lagos State Governor's guest house since 1979, but which now belongs to Tinubu. The certificate of occupancy of the property, valued at 450 million naira, was signed and released to him by Fashola in 2007, shortly after he assumed office. 2. Tinubu's residence at 26 Badilian Road, Ikoyi, valued at 600 million naira. The Lagos State government bought the property and paid an undisclosed sum to Tinubu, and thereafter gave the property back to him under the bogus pension bill he signed to law shortly before he left office in 2007. 3. The annex of the Lagos State Guest House in Asokoro, Abuja, was bought by the state government in 2006 for 450 million naira. But shortly after Tinubu left office, the property was transferred to him under the pension plan he signed into law before leaving office. 4. The 250-hectare land, valued at about 35 billion naira and strategically located at the Ajah Junction on Lekki Road, was initially meant for a general hospital for the people of Etiosa local government, but was seized by Tinubu and handed over to Trojan Estate Limited, a company owned by Deji and Wale Tinubu, to develop as Royal Garden Housing Estate at the expense of the taxpayers of Lagos. 5. The 1,000 hectares of land, valued at about 75 billion naira at Lakowe near Abijo, in Ibeju-Lekki local government and given to Lekki Concession Company LCC, which is partly owned by Tinubu. It is being developed as a golf course and housing estate by Assets and Resource Management Limited, ARM. 6. 157 hectares of prime land worth 2.5 kilometers on the Atlantic beachfront, valued at about 10 billion naira and illegally appropriated by Tinubu from the communities of Sinwan, Igbekodo, Akpakin, in Ibeju-Lekki and given to a Tinubu crony and front, Ibukun Fakeye, to build a golf course and luxury villa with little or no compensation to the villagers. Tinubu paid $20 million, that's 3 billion naira, out of public treasury to Fakeye to commence the project in late 2006. Fashola has since released additional funding for this project, which is not owned by the state government. 7. Bola Tinubu now owns the 14-hectare Parkview Ikoyi Estate foreshore land reclaimed by Lagos State government. 8. While in office, he allocated to himself the former Strabag yard beside the Lagos State Secretariat at Alausa, Ikeja. The property has now been developed into a shopping mall, the Ikeja City Mall, that houses ShopRite Ikeja. 9. The choice property at Lekki Ekpe Road, on which he built the multi-billion naira Oriental Hotel and a multi-story car park beside it. In addition is the recreation center by Mobile in Oniru Estate on Lekki Ekpe Road, jointly owned with ARM and Tunji Oloalafe and valued at over 25 billion naira, were obtained without paying a kobo to the Lagos State government. Tinubu, under Fashola's watch, sold the following prime Lagos properties to their personal friend and front, Prince Dikpo Eludoyin, at very ridiculous prices. 1. The 3.8 hectare of land of Lagos State Fisheries Office in VI, besides the Institute of Oceanography, valued at 3 billion naira. 2. The fishery land and jetty at Badore, valued at 500 million naira. 3. The entire Ogudu foreshore scheme, initially earmarked for a low-cost housing scheme, valued at 5 billion naira. 4. The Ilubinri housing estate, which used to house Lagos State civil servants and judges up till 2007, valued at 2.5 billion naira. 5. The former Julius Berger yard at Okorisa, Ekpe, valued at 450 million naira. 6. Tinubu raised a loan of 4.7 billion naira on Eko Akete project, for which nothing was achieved before he turned around to sell the property to his friends Chagori and Chagori and his own company, High Tech Construction Limited, at the expense of the taxpayers of Lagos. 7. Tinubu applied to personally purchase the Federal Secretariat building while in office. When he couldn't get to buy it, he directed Fashola to stop the eventual owner of the complex from developing it. The complex is presently wasting away, courtesy of the Lagos State government. It took several months of horse trading and underhand payments before Fashola could allow the new owners of 1,004 flats to redevelop the complex. 8. Tinubu converted all the plots of land where Lagos Polytechnic was located at Ikosi near the old toll gate. He chased away the Polytechnic in 2006, depriving the youths of Lagos of decent education because of his greed. He allocated the property to himself, his cronies, and political associates. It now houses TV Continental (TVC), which is owned by Tinubu. 9. Tinubu single-handedly sold the prime land on Aboyade Coal, Victoria Island, which was recovered from some allottees, to UACN Properties plc. The amount of proceeds was shrouded in secrecy. 10. Dikpo Eludoyin, fronting for Tinubu, built the estate directly opposite Goshen Beach Estate in Lekki area. 11. Tinubu's wife, Remi Tinubu, built the massive New Era Foundation Youth Camp at the junction of Eleko off the Lekki-Ekpe Express Road with Lagos State funds and has now converted it to personal use. 12. Tinubu owns the Farah Park Estate and the Beechwood Estate, both in Lekki. 13. The critical care unit at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Lasuth, in Ikeja, built and equipped with state funds, is now owned personally by Tinubu. He has put one Dr. Sikiru Tinubu, a supposed cousin of his, to run the outfit. 14. Besides, prime land and properties have been used to pay off public officials who are personally close to Tinubu and Fashola for jobs well done or for being privy to sensitive information. Notably, Dele Alake, former Commissioner for Information and Strategy, was sold a whole house on Alexander Road, Ikoyi, where he lived as official quarters at a giveaway price. Rauf Aregbesola, Osun State Governor, who was a former commissioner in Lagos, as well as Muiz Banire, also a former commissioner, got detached houses at Ladoke Akintola Street, GRA Ikeja, for their good job while serving under Tinubu. Yemi Cardoso and Wale Edun, both former commissioners, were sold houses on Iru Close and another location in Old Ikoyi at giveaway prices by Tinubu. The list is endless.